Hey everybody, it's Alan Weber from the Mayor's Office. On our last one of these briefings of the year, the final installment of Live from the Mayor's Office, and we'll start again in 2019, but there's a lot to cover, a lot of notes to go through. I thought I'd give you a pretty complete update on all the stuff that has gone on in the Mayor's Office this past year, and then a little bit of a fearless forecast of things we'll be working on once we turn over the calendar to a brand new year. But before I say anything else, I really should say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. And don't forget to come out New Year's Eve on the plaza. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful event, lots of fun, music, and then of course the now traditional count up as we raise the chili. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your family, have some fun, celebrate Santa Fe, celebrate the new year, and let's all get together and ring in the new year with a lot of good cheer, optimism, and fun on the plaza. What have we been doing for the last year? A lot. We've been working to make Santa Fe the most user-friendly, the most eco-friendly, and the most family-friendly city in the United States, to create in your city government the capacity to deliver to you, to everybody in the city, high-quality services, responsive services, and to professionalize our way of doing business, and to really implement the processes, the practices, the policies, the people to deliver the government that you expect and that we all want to have in Santa Fe. I think it starts with people. Most business managers will agree that if you want to build a great organization, you get the right people on the bus. As Jim Collins wrote in Good to Great, you get the right people on the bus. Sometimes you have to get the wrong people off the bus, and then you get the right people in the right seats so that they can actually be the team to get things done. And in this last year, we've kept the best people from the old administration and added a whole bunch of terrific managers, terrific leaders to drive city government so that we respond to the wishes, the needs, the aspirations of our community. Think about this. In the last 9 months, we've added a new city manager, a new city attorney, a new chief of staff, a new finance director, a new human resources director, a police chief, a fire chief, a public works director, a land use director, a parks and recreation director, a community services director, and a constituent and council services director. That is a brand new team partnering with the people who are here already doing a good job to really change the culture, the performance, the level of professionalism in city government. On top of that, we've worked first of all to get our own house in order, because the best people in those departments can't deliver what you want if their own houses, if their own departments aren't in order. That means we started by responding to the McHard report, which was delivered September a year ago, outlining the ways the city government had to modernize and professionalize its operation, do more with software, with management, with real oversight, so the people who work for the city government know what's expected of them and how they will be able to improve the work they do and feel good about working for city government in Santa Fe. We've had 2 audits. We've produced a corrective action plan that identified the steps we were going to take in our finance department to make sure that we are on top of all of the tax dollars that come to the city. We can account for them. We can tell you how they're being spent and what they're producing. We were able to produce a terrific document called a risk assessment. It went across all of the city government departments and asked each of the department heads, what are the kinds of risks that we need to prepare for? And then established a priority of the most significant risk down to the least significant, and let us work on them, ticking off progress in reducing risk one at a time. We have put out about a month ago a $20 million bond backed by our gross receipts tax. It was coming after we got a AA plus rating for the city's bond rating, which means we have a terrific reputation with the people who rate the bonds and buy the bonds. We put out $20 million worth of bonds. We got $80 million worth of bids, and that means that the interest rate went down. We're able to pay less to buy those bonds off, pay them off, and in the process, we are going to do a bunch of remedial work that has been ignored for too long on our rec centers, our libraries, City Hall, significant city buildings, and invest in a new soccer program, a large soccer complex out at the MRC. We're going to build a new fire station. We're going to upgrade our communication system for better safety. All of that will be spent out of that bond, and we're going to track those dollars so we know exactly how they're being spent and where they're being spent. At the same time, we're spending $10 million on through a bond that we issued previously to repave roads all across the city. So we're getting our house in order. We're proving that our financial capabilities are strong and trustworthy, and we're going into all parts of the city, every neighborhood, every district, upgrading the quality of our installed buildings and roads and highways. We've gone to work on making Santa Fe a more professionally run government, streamlining procurement, improving the way we respond to your concerns through a better constituent services tracking method, modernizing our computer software. It's called the ERP system, our enterprise system. We're installing it so that in finance, human resources, land use, we can have a computer software system that is modern and really saves money by the way we are able to deliver services through modern software and technology. And we were able to produce something I think is a terrific piece of work. It's called the End of Summer Report. It's funny to talk about the end of summer with snow pouring out of the sky, but at the end of the summer, we put out the first report that was a comprehensive report to you, to everybody in the city. It's on the city's website, department by department, identifying the accomplishments, the programs that we launched during the summer to bring a better summer experience to everybody in Santa Fe. And then we're working to bring Santa Fe together. You know, one of the things I experienced when I was running for mayor 1 year ago was the sense that people all across the city were worried that, like too many cities in America, we were dividing, becoming different parts of the same city. We weren't bringing people together. We weren't demonstrating that as a community, we all are in this together. And so from day one of this last year, we worked on things that would unify Santa Fe. Starting with Meet the Mayor coffees. I've been once a month going out, putting a sign up saying Meet the Mayor, have a cup of coffee, spend 5 minutes with me in coffee shops, restaurants, all over the city. We're going to continue that in the year ahead. It's a great way to hear directly from you what you think I need to know, and for me to tell you what we're working on to solve problems that you care about. We took city meetings of the city council to every district in Santa Fe. The first one was in the Southside Library. A couple hundred people turned out just to watch city government in action, giving people a chance to see their governing body at work, considering their business. 200 people came. The council meeting was in both English and in Spanish. It was a community event, and we're continuing that in 2019 as well. We were able to enjoy an inclusive and joyful and peaceful fiesta, thanks to the work of a lot of hardworking citizens, people from the Pueblo community, people from the Fiesta Council and the Caballeros, from the Archdiocese. People got together and decided it's much better to live together in harmony and in peace than to fight. And we really set, I think, a standard for the rest of the country on how you can resolve differences in a way that brings people together and shows respect and reconciliation for our entire city. And it was a moment that people took a minute to step back and ask, who are we? What do we care about? How much do we care about each other? And how are we really able to live in harmony for so many hundreds of years? The answer is, let's be that city. Let's be that city that cares about each other, that shows compassion and respect and dignity for all parts of our community. I mentioned the soccer complex at the MRC. We put a good amount of money into Swan Park and making sure that it was safe and secure, and to providing police oversight so that the residents who surrounded and lived above Swan Park could enjoy peace and quiet, which is what we all want in our neighborhoods. And then, of course, Southside Summer version 1.0 was a great success with film, with music, with art and recreation, all focused on the south side of Santa Fe, where so many of our young people, our young families live. Let's take entertainment, let's take fun to the south side and make the entire city able to enjoy the recreational fun, pleasure, culture of Santa Fe, rather than thinking everybody has to either come to the rail yard or to the plaza. And we'll make it even better next year. It was a big success. I think year 2.0 will be even better. Another one of our priorities in the year was to make Santa Fe both sustainable and inclusive. We adopted the sustainability plan that was in the works for 3 years to try to make Santa Fe carbon neutral by 2040. And as we watch climate change bring fire and flood and weather events all over the world, it becomes even more clear that as the residents of a city that is based on sustainability, on renewable energy, on taking care of our precious water resources, we are in a position to be the most sustainable city in America if we follow the roadmap that was put down in the sustainability plan. It's a tremendous piece of work, largely done by volunteer citizens who came together to give their knowledge, their dedication, their creativity, and their organizational skills to bring a plan to the governing body that we adopted to guide us as we move forward. We are adopting a comprehensive housing strategy. It was put together as a document by a transition team that I appointed shortly after I was elected. That report has now brought us to a series of actions that we're going to take to change the policies, the practices, and the programs of the city, building on our affordable housing roots and launching new initiatives so that we can expand the offering of housing in all parts of Santa Fe. The data say we're 4,000, maybe 5,000 housing units short. We think there are probably 110, 115 of our fellow residents in Santa Fe who are chronically homeless. We're going to go to work on all parts of the housing continuum, from homelessness to people who are renting their first apartment, to people who are buying their first home, to seniors who want to downsize and find not a single family home, but a smaller unit that they can live in and have a quieter, simpler life. We can make all of that happen. We're reviewing our short-term rental ordinance, we're reviewing our auxiliary dwelling unit ordinance, and an ordinance that allows developers to pay a fee rather than building affordable units. All of that is being reviewed right now by a group of people working both inside city government and as volunteers, because let's face it, Santa Fe runs on volunteerism. It's the work that happens across our city in nonprofits, in neighborhoods, community organizations. That's the lifeblood of Santa Fe. And so this partnership between volunteers and city staff is putting together a comprehensive agenda that in 2019 will guide us to produce and preserve housing units in all parts of the city. In terms of inclusivity, of course, a big issue this last year. We don't live in a vacuum. Santa Fe is a very special place, but the outside world touches us. And in some cases, the outside world can be very mean-spirited. We've seen ICE raids, illegal in some cases, where they lied to our immigrant residents about being Santa Fe police officers and made stops that were clearly not legal. And we stood up to ICE. We spoke hard against ICE. I went down to the border to visit one of those horrific, horrible detention facilities where young children are being held by our federal government. And now, in the last couple of weeks, we've actually seen the tragedy of young people dying in the custody of our own government. And we've spoken against that, and at the same time, we've partnered with local immigrant rights organizations like SOMOS to work with the several thousand people who live in Santa Fe who could become citizens if we could help them walk through that citizenship process. In many cases, the citizenship process is scary, it's intimidating, it's expensive, and it's unknown. And now SOMOS and the city are partnering with something called Cities for Citizenship to help those several thousand legal residents become citizens. And it's something I think we should all be proud of, that we can work to create new citizens who will have the right to vote and participate fully as citizens of this great country and of our amazing city. And then, of course, we've tried to be there for everybody when you need us. Think back to the flood that happened several months ago. For most people, it didn't touch their lives, but for a lot of our neighborhoods, it was a catastrophe. Their homes were washed away, filled with water, filled with mud. We had people lose animals and pets to the flood. The city all of a sudden had to rally using our emergency response team, pulling together resources from every department, land use to go out and make assessments, public works to look at the damage and to try to remedy some of the worst hit neighborhoods. We had people from the utilities, police, fire, all rallying together to respond as one government to the needs that were created by this flood. And it proved to me that the capacity of this city government to show heart and hands and head all at the same time, to work smart, work tough, work hard, and work with compassion is unmatched for any city in America. And the response was nothing short of heroic. We've now gone on from that to look at other ways to be responsive. We're looking at increasing our capacity to deal with the always problematic issue of summer weeds. We're working hard to make sure that in the future the weed program will be well run and well maintained by our Parks and Rec department. Similarly, we've been working hard to improve the permit process in land use, which continues to be an area where we need to get fast, accurate responses so the permits get put out quickly, efficiently, and builders, developers, homeowners, renters who want to make improvements have the city helping them get it done fast, effectively, and efficiently. Those are some of the things we worked on in this past year. Looking ahead, there's even more to be done. And I think we all have been well served, and a big thank you to all the members of the City Council. We've been a great team in this past year, working collaboratively where there was disagreement. It was not disagreeable. It was honest disagreement handled with great maturity and thoughtfulness and respect. For the most part, where there was disagreement, we were able to come together with compromises and put together a resolution for the University of Art and Design that passed unanimously, to work hard for an agenda for this upcoming state legislative session, where I'm hoping that with a new governor and with the legislature working together, the city of Santa Fe will get the resources we need to make new capital investments to improve the quality of life for all parts of our city. I'm incredibly optimistic about that upcoming session. I think it's going to be the beginning of a huge turnaround for the entire state of New Mexico, the turnaround that we've been waiting for with jobs, housing, sustainable energy, a whole set of investments in education, all the improvements that will demonstrate that New Mexico and Santa Fe have all the resources we need to be a leader. We just need new leadership in the Roundhouse, which is showing up January 1. I think we're going to see in 2019 a lot of activity, a lot of energy, a lot more optimism, and a lot more getting done. We're going to see improvements in the way the city government continues to grow and run itself more professionally with better technology. We're going to invest in all of the infrastructure that a modern city needs, whether we're talking about Wi-Fi, broadband, safe communication systems, improved transportation systems. That's going to make Santa Fe a better, safer, easier place to live. We're going to work with our police department to make sure that we have the best police department of any city in the United States, and to make sure that our police department gets the leadership, the training, the equipment, and yes, the pay that they need and deserve, because we expect a lot of them. We want them to recognize we're behind them. We want to work with them to be the best police department of any community in this country. Continue to be proud of the work that the fire department does and MIHO does. We have so many dedicated people working in city government across the board, and that work will continue. We're going to continue to look at investments at the University of Art and Design, and to bring a plan together so that that piece of land can become the new center of a new community, a new neighborhood that's at the heart of Santa Fe. Looking at transportation investments, ways we can make bicycles, walking, all kinds of transportation investments so we are more energy efficient and more sustainable in the way we move around our city. There is so much to be done. Partnering with the school district, because those kids are our kids. Whether they're in school or out of school, the city cares about all of those kids. We're going to launch a mentorship program so that any high school kid in the city of Santa Fe who wants a mentor will get one. We're going to work on ending chronic homelessness in Santa Fe. Those are our people too. We need to learn their names, their stories, and their needs, and bring homelessness to zero in Santa Fe. And we can do that if we bring all our resources together. We're going to celebrate all the volunteers here in Santa Fe who make such a big difference through all the work you do as a volunteer, helping young people, helping seniors, helping those who are a little less fortunate and need a little extra help, volunteering for arts and culture and the creativity that is the hallmark of Santa Fe. There is so much to be proud of, so much to celebrate, and so much more work to do to represent our potential to each of us, to give everyone the opportunity to live the best life they can live with their family, with their friends, in their neighborhood. 2019 is going to be an exciting year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the plaza on New Year's Eve as we count the old year out and the new year in. My colleagues on the City Council will be with me celebrating, welcoming all of you to the plaza. Come with your friends, come with your family. Let's have some fun. And as we end 2018, let's make 2019 a year of health and happiness and joy and love. This is a city that we all love. This is a place we're all blessed to live. I'm very, very blessed to be able to be the mayor of such a special and remarkable community. I'm very grateful to you for your support in so many ways. All the things that our folks here in town do to make Santa Fe the most amazing place to live in the world. We keep being recognized for it, but we all know it. It doesn't take outside recognition. We live it every single day in our hearts, with our families, with our history, with our culture, with our kids, with our grandparents. Let's make this coming year an even better year of inclusivity, of connection, of caring, of compassion, and of love for each other and for Santa Fe. Thanks to all of you for a really wonderful 2018, and here's to an even better 2019. Happy New Year. I'll see you on the plaza.